We're here today at Irish Nationals 2023 with Mr. Card Market, Mr. Adam. Look at him, he's so enthused. He's actually, what did you do today?
So I went ahead and I topped Nationals this event.
Top 8 as well, yeah. So you got to top 16 and then won in top 8.
Lost in top 8 and
lost
in top 8, but won in top 16. So it was pretty good.
This is awesome.
And until then, I actually went defeated throughout the entire day, which was
XO2, right?
XO2, 2 draws
yeah.
and 6 wins, and then lost in top 8.
Yeah,
so,
and one of the people that you lost or drew with was I have a profile for him as well because it's got Abyss actors.
Oh, yeah,
and maybe you can understand why you drew with him, where you have to read all the cards and go, what the hell are they doing?
I spent about 10 minutes reading every single card that he had. Like, I was like, I have no idea what they're doing.
Of course. So let's kick it off. We'll do matchups and stuff afterwards.
So my favorite deck of the format at the moment is Kashtira, so I was on Kashtira. Of
nice.
course, we're just going to go ahead and break down really quick. We play 3 Fenrir because, of course, you play 3 Fenrir.
If you can, please turn them around. That would be fantastic. Also, there are beautiful ultis that you got off of Crush cards. Yeah. I remember I was talking to them.
Then we have 3 Unicorn, because that obviously makes sense. We have 2 Arise Heart. This came up a bunch of times today because it's just nice to have the extra card to go into. 1 Ogre, because I still do the 5 zone lock every once in a while, and it's quite nice. Also, Ogre's big.
He's big.
He's very big.
He's so big. That's my favorite thing about him. I don't think I'd play any of the traps. I just want him.
I do play with the 1 Scareclaw Kashtira. To be frankly honest, you know what? I think 2 is not like a bad shit, because there was a couple of times where I did want the extra extension, and I didn't want to run tier elements. Because I think it's good. I thought about running it because maybe I want the game knowledge by milling them. But
after today, I was thinking about it. I was like, it might save a broken hand.
I think I do need the 1 extender, but that also does make your deck worse if you have a good hand. So it's a bit tricky. Then I obviously play we're
doing the weirdest, like pulling off the top of the deck to go right.
2
So
planet, makes sense.
3 births. Teiosis. I was trying to guess there. That's my own fault.
Then we play 3 birth. You were nearly there.
I was close.
And then 1 big bang.
Yeah.
And that
so no prep.
No prep.
Grand.
Because I feel like prep is just a bit too bricky. Would have been nice against my loss, but alas. Then we will just.
I mean the 1 trap deck in the room. Like, let's be real. Come on.
We'll go away from the main deck cash cards and we'll go to my other spots. Of course, we're going to play 3 Prosperity because it is literally one of the best searches in the game at the moment.
And
it's
then
amazing. Nice consistent tool.
What's
and
the
then,
next card?
This was actually one of the best cards of the day, and it's
1 Desires.
So the way I see it is 2 Desires is too much.
You can't draw Desires off Desires if you only play 1 Desire.
It feels really bad. And then you don't feel as bad drawing Pile of Prosperity off of Desires as you do seeing Pile of Desires in your Prosperity.
True.
So it came up a couple of times where I ended up actually drawing some really good stuff. Like I drew with Pile of Desires, Banish 10, and then I actually drew stuff like Birth and another Kashtira monster, and I was like, it's good to go. Then we play Terraforming because obviously it makes sense. You want to search the field spell.
Yep.
And then we were on 3 Triple Tactics talents. So I made a meta call where I felt like with people prepping for Super Heavy Samurai and prepping for pretty much everything by using stuff like Droll, that people will be playing a lot of hand traps, including Gamma. And if you get Gamma on a vital piece of your combo, you are probably dead in the water, and it's nice to have something like Talents to be able to at least kind of come back a little bit by being able to maybe take something that they have or being able to rip something out of their hand. So Talents felt really good today, and I think I probably could have the 2, but I think 3 wasn't the worst call.
Yeah, I observed it the same in Testing. Every time I was playing Super Heavy Samurai, I was like, Talents go super hard right now.
Yeah, it feels really, really good just because people are on so many hand traps.
Yep.
Then after that, so these are just kind of like the pair spells that I were kind of using for this deck. Then we're going to go into what I'm going to call my interruption section. So we have 3 Shifter. Shifter is amazing because there's a bunch of different things that people want to do, and if they don't have their graveyard, it makes it a little bit harder for them to do that. Then we have Slightly Conflicting. We're playing 3 Droll in main. The thing is, right, so most of the time you only really need 1.
Yep.
And if you open the 2 of them and you know what your opponent is on, you can just wait until the thing that matters the most happens. And if you change Shifter first and then Droll and Lockbird, you can kind of lock them out of both.
Oh my god, you can do it on Res. Yeah,
you can,
on Res.
Which is really cool.
I never thought of that.
It happened like once or twice today, where I went Shifter and then chain Draw and Lockbird because it's a quick effect and it's an if effect, so it's not a when, which is really, really cool. But
that's why I didn't make top 16, because I didn't fucking know that.
But it's
I'm a
really
big dummy and I was using one, not the other.
Draw and Lockbird came up so much today. It was exceptionally good because obviously Super Heavy Samurai wants to add all of the time, and stopping them from being able to add the cards is just, it's game over. Then next we have, I'm playing 3 Lava Golem in the main.
Yeah.
Right? 3 Lava Golem, it's pretty awesome. I think it's more impactful than any other hand trap I could have been running, because it just means even if I go first and I get my board broken, because Kashtira is a little bit of a glass cannon, where if they get their board broken, they don't really have an opportunity to come back most of the time.
It has good top decks, but like it's still hard.
It's really, really hard to come back, because any interruption on like a birth or something can mess you up.
Yep.
And that's why Lava Golem exists, because you just drop the Lava Golem on them. And I even, like, it felt really, really good having it in main, because even when I went first, my board would often get broken.
Yep.
And I'd then just go, okay, I'll Lava Golem, get rid of what you've set up. And they're like, okay, and then take it from there.
Then activate birth. Yeah.
Really, really good. And then for the final 4 cards in the deck, it's Gamma and Driver.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gamma overperformed.
No Ash.
So
Interesting.
No Ash.
Yeah,
Didn't want to play Ash. Ash is not impactful enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Overperformed. This is the best hand trap in the format, I think, because there were so many times where I'd just go Terraforming or Pot of Prosperity, and the person would go, okay, that's fine. I will, I'd add something that would obviously be an extension, so like something like Unicorn or something, like would just get me more stuff. And they go, okay, I'll draw, and I'll go, haha, I will Gamma, and then we'll start off with this.
The same thing as me.
We'll start off with this then.
Yeah.
What's amazing is if they draw you on your turn, right, and you summon out the boys.
I was praying I could do this today, all day.
You special summon Psyframe Lord Omega, and Psyframe Lord Omega's banished effect, it's really good in Kashtira actually, because it removes the monsters on the field from the field, right, and puts them in the grave, and then Psyframe Lord Omega actually has an effect, that quick effect, banish itself and banish a card from your
hand loop.
Hand, so you are able to also get rid of some stuff from the hand. And it came up several times today where I ripped a very vital piece out of people's hands. I ripped like a couple of hand traps, ripped some couple of like extenders for when they play on their turn. It felt really, really good, and also it's a lot of value while not hindering your game plan of having a monster or no monsters on the field, which is pretty awesome.
I was saying to you earlier, right? I think people underestimate you, and I was just like, they're like, oh, there's no way he's playing Gamma in his Kashtira deck, and then you just get Gamma like crazy.
It's a Gamma. They're like,
he's just an internet personality, bro. You won the last regionals. What are you talking about?
It's really good. Following up with the extra deck stuff, we're gonna go, and it's 3 Kashtira Rise Arts. So the theory for my extra deck was my main deck and my side, as we'll see, isn't really built for going and dealing with Kashtira.
In Cash, yeah.
Because I didn't expect to see too many today, and I actually didn't play against any mirror matches.
Oh, wild, yeah.
So I still think the way I built my extra deck, it was a good call. Basically, I built it to be very resilient to the Kashtira. I have 3 Arise Hearts, so that way they can't rip 1 from me and then leave me on 1.
And same with the big guys, I'm assuming,
And same with the big guys, I play 2 as well. And then I also play, of course, 2 Zeus, because Zeus, it just makes sense. Then on top of that, we play 2 Shangri-La, because you need to if you want to be able to pull off the 5-zone lock, which I did once or twice, which is really nice.
Good.
It's annoying that you have to run this, but you have to run 2. Then I ran, obviously, 1 Diablosus, stupid card. This should really be banned. The amount of times, like, I decked someone out exactly by, they had 14 cards banished face down, and then I went, how many cards in your deck? And they said 14, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make Diablosus then. And I will explain why that was really funny, because they had 200 life points left, right, after I got to the battle phase, and I'd removed their Zeus using a Fenrir. They had 200 life points left, and I had, in main phase 2, made Red Eyes Metal Flare Dragon, so the Gamma in their hand was dead, because if they activate Gamma, they would burn themselves for 500 and lose. And if they just let Diablosus happen, they would lose anyway, because I'd decked them out for 14 cards. Exactly.
I see.
Red Eyes Metal Flare actually came up quite a lot today. So there was a couple of times where I was barely able to deal enough damage to like put them within range of dying if I had just a little bit of like burn damage, and Red Eyes Metal Flare in main phase 2 made that pretty good. Like there was one game where guy had like 1,700 life points left, and I just made Red Eyes Metal Flare, and he was like, I get like what, 4 activations, and I was like, yeah. And he was on Super Heavy Samurai. And he just,
no, it's loads.
And,
it's too many.
And
it's like Masquerade.
At the time, he didn't realize that the equip effect is an activated effect. And I was like, no, it's an activated effect to burn. So he burned himself. He was like, oh yeah, no, I just passed because I can't win.
Okay.
And I was like, great. So it did come up combo decks that require themselves to activate a bunch of effects. This is a really good card against it, and it helps. And I did also play it 4 times, because if I'm going up against a combo deck and I don't open anything amazing, at least I can maybe burn them a little bit by having this in the field because they're going to have to activate a bunch.
And the man still had 2 draws.
Yeah, still had 2 draws. Then we had Donner, because Donner is a cool card.
Yep.
I had the Dirt. It's an amazing card. It's
fave.
so good. Being able to pop a card on the field, not once per turn, and banish a card from graveyard, not once per turn, is so good because you can just cycle stuff like Theosis with Birth, and it just feels really, really nice.
Yep.
And then we play 1 Prosperity target, which is Infinitrack Goliath.
Yeah, it's the safest one because Gamma's everywhere as well.
Yeah, Gamma's everywhere. It's the best one, I think. And with Droll and everything, most of the time, you're not going to be doing anything.
Exactly.
So that
now we're
was
into
the
side
extra
deck stuff.
Side deck really
and we'll do very quick on matchups as well.
Yeah. We did 3 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. This actually came up quite a lot. I was expecting a lot of Mathmech because it's a very budget deck that performs very well.
Yep.
It actually came up a couple of times against other decks, stuff like Naturia Runic.
Yep.
And
Shuffleback.
Something else
It comes up in the mirror as well.
Comes up in the mirror if they use like Birth and stuff. And it came up against like a couple of other different things. And I can't remember what it was, but it was actually a really, really good card for the day, and I'm really glad that I had it. I'm on my other 2 monsters with 2 Karakara. This came up like once or twice. It's just nice being able to get a big body on the field and being able to bring back a monster in the end phase. Didn't come up as much as I wanted to because I faced no Kashtira.
And also you have the Lava Golems as well.
Yeah, the Lava Golems as well. This is just for the sticky single monsters stuff, like purely...
The purely stuff,
basically.
Where they get tempted to draw,
Then 2 Dark Ruler no more. Super Heavy Samurai, you want to be able to turn off their board. Not being able to respond is pretty amazing, as I found out. So Dark Ruler no more is pretty awesome. Then we have a Harpy's Feather Duster, because being able to wipe your opponent's board of spell and traps is kind of awesome.
Cool.
Then we have 2 Triple Tactics Thrust, being able to search a card when your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn at any point is sick. It's so
especially
good.
in the hand trap format.
Yeah, especially in the hand trap format where people are activating cards a lot on your turn. It's really good being able to like search stuff, especially when you're going first and you're playing a couple of going first cards like I was. So we're playing a Pointer with the Red Lotus, being able to get hand knowledge and also stop them from being able to summon stuff like Kaijus is pretty cool. Then I am playing 2 Solemn Judgment, because Judgment is a really good a really good card in this format where people are playing big blowout stuff that you can't respond to with monster effects a lot, stuff like Dark Ruler no more, or stuff like Evenly. Being able to shut that down is really good. I'm on 1 Eradicator because I was a little bit afraid of Labrynth and Naturia Runic, and then I'm on an evenly matched.
There's more things to come in relation to that one, right?
And I'm on the evenly matched as well because I think it's also just good for Thrust. It's not really a great card right now, but it is good against Labrynth if they do Eradicator you and declare spells.
Yep.
So feels good. Just the 1. It's not. I probably could tinker with this a little bit more, but it felt really good throughout the day.
Nice.
So that's the deck.
Very good. And then matchup stuff.
Okay, so as far as I remember,
you had round 1 Abyss Actors.
Round 1 was Abyss
I'm
Actors
sure about that one
because I did have to read every single
reading the cards is hard.
I can't remember what round 2 was. I know there were 3 Naturia Runic.
You played a lot of Runic, yeah.
Played a lot of Naturia Runic. Drew against 1. But beat everyone else. Diablosis, banishing, everything is pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Then I played against, I think it was 3 Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah.
My deck is really well tailored to beat Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah, shifter draw.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I played against 1. I actually remember what game 2 was now. It was a PK Adventure, and unfortunately that deck does not perform
PK Adventure?
Yeah, PK Adventure does not perform very well against Macrocosmos.
Nope, does not.
Does not at all. So it was it was not a good game for that guy. Then I think that was pretty much it. Mostly Super Heavy Samurai. Yeah. And then in top 16 I faced against Super Heavy Samurai and won because, like I said, deck super well prepared for Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah.
And then my top 8 loss was against Labrynth. Now, throughout the entire day, I was kind of like, okay, if I come up against Labrynth, I probably lose. I don't have a lot of cards in my side deck that really deal with anything Labrynth can do. I have a Pointer to maybe rip a card out of their hand that could cause me trouble.
Little did you know that Bell is really, really good against
we have
Super Heavy
Eradicator.
Labrynth.
Yeah. I did also have Bell because I did think that like Bell would kind of matter because stuff like
it hits one of the welcomes.
Yeah, one of the welcomes. I think it's big welcome, and then evenly matched. These 6 cards are pretty good, and Judgment is able to stop shit like fucking evenly matched.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool.
But it is an uphill battle.
It's pretty much an uphill battle, and going first, it's really you kind of need to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Going second, there's not really much you can can do except for take out the drolls because they don't really add
The drolls,
that much.
yeah.
Shifter,
this is where the ashes come in as well,
yeah.
right?
Shifter I kept in because I was like, okay, Shifter kind of if they don't get.
You just
the
have to do
bounce
some
effect,
stuff to make sure that you're not using it on your turn. You just have to do it on their turn.
I was like, okay, I can kind of make sure that like the effect, the spells don't be in the graveyard to return stuff I control, etc., etc. Yeah, and so game one, won game one, won the die roll, and I just managed to out-resource him by banishing pretty much everything. Game two, I had a pretty good opener. I shifted, then Heartbeat, but he had big welcome, so he was able to start chaining stuff and get other things out, and I just couldn't come back from it. And I just top decked a lot of stuff that didn't really matter. Like I had Thrust ready, but I drew Thrust and Talent, and I was like, this kind of sucks. They're not really activating monster effects on my turn. But I also couldn't take out more stuff because I didn't want to add it.
There wasn't enough to side out.
There wasn't enough to side out, so I had to keep some stuff in. So I was like, okay. And then game three, I set up probably the most unbreakable board I ever could have, and I kind of got spooked because I'm set up Shangri-La, lock 3 zones. Diablosis, mill the 8 cards, and then a Rise Heart with 4 material. One of them is Goliath, so it's not getting popped. Then I Prosperity, right? And grabbed Judgment. And surely that's game over. He goes into standby phase. Xyz Encore is a card, and the man was very well prepared for Purely and Kashtira, and he Xyz Encored the Rise Heart, and I knew what Xyz Encore did, but I didn't know that you can't respond to Xyz Encore with anything. So
you can expect a new card market video about this.
Please buy Xyz Encore. They're very expensive. Xyz Encore is an exceptionally good card. It attaches all of the materials on a Xyz monster, banishes them all, and then returns that Xyz monster back to the deck. You can't respond to it, which meant my Judgment couldn't respond to it. I couldn't chain a Rise Heart to try and banish a bunch of stuff. So eventually he just kind of set 3, and there's not really much I could do. Clear the Shangri-La, and I couldn't come back from that. We were very close towards the end, we got very close to time, but unfortunately I just couldn't get enough life points down to win.
And the ladies are just big.
They're big, and
they're bigger than Kashtira monsters.
They're bigger than Kashtira monsters, and they're bigger than all of the monsters unless you have like Ogre and...
You have to go Field Spell Ogre,
which is rough, and I just couldn't come back.
It's super annoying.
But apart from that, it was a really, really good day, and I knew it was a matchup that I was going to lose against if I went into it, and it's just unfortunate I saw it in top 8. But going undefeated until top 8, I think is pretty good.
That's awesome.
So,
all right. Any shout-outs? Any other things? There'll be links to Card Market Insights.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a Card Market Insight that you can go read a little bit more of a breakdown of the deck if you're interested in that. Maybe some more graphics and stuff. You can also go and check out the Card Market channel because that is what I do. So yeah. Other than that, please like and subscribe because David puts a lot of work into these, and he never does quit. He never sleeps. He's always on the grind. So please.
Woo! Cheers.